Hi, everyone. So nice to meet you. My name's Grace Lenoci. I'm from Hungary, from Budapest, so we're neighbors, but thank you for having me here in Zagreb today. It's great to meet you all. I've been with Salesforce for 5 years. I'm a digital account executive, and I'm lucky enough to be working with our customers like Badra and the OTP team and many others in the region. Hopefully get to work with many more of you in the near future. And today I'll be kind of following along what you previously heard in the amazing chat with OTP, kind of explaining what this marketing cloud tool actually is and how OTP was able to get to where they are today, and maybe even go a bit beyond that and explain about how to build those real long-lasting relationships, which is what we're all looking to do in 2025. The goal is really long-term customer loyalty. So that's what we're going to look into today. If the slide works. It all starts with knowing our customers, but how well do we actually all know our customers? It's not an easy task. We ask ourselves, but we know that 75% of bank executives are not confident that they can provide a very super personalized customer experience for their clients. And it's no wonder, because it's a hard task, right? The customer expectations are constantly evolving. We all have to keep up. It's not easy. For a long time now, we've been digital first, mobile first. Customers expect 24/7, real time, all the time engagement and service from us, because your customers are all over the world. They could be anywhere at any time, and they rely on you to have accurate and reliable information. You have to be reliable, especially when with financial services, we talk about it's crucial that you have your customers' trust. Otherwise, there's really nothing. And today, it's actually a real customer expectation that you deliver relevant and personalized messaging to them as well. Because as a consumer myself and someone who works with financial institutions, I know that if the messaging isn't hitting the spot for me, they lose my business, because there's someone else, another competitor, who knows exactly my needs and can tailor all of their engagement with me based on that. There's also other factors. There's business challenges. As always in business, and especially marketing teams, we're expected to do more with less. Less budget, less resources, small workforces, challenge finding good workforce. Of course, as Badra and the team touched on, there's so much disconnected data in all of our systems. So many of our information live in isolated little islands, and they don't speak to each other, and it's so hard to access that data. But even if you have access to it, what's really difficult is actioning on that data. So actually not only fetching that data from IT and getting a good list of prospects or accounts, but actually being able to have tools that automate your outreach to them and doing something with that data. If we had all of this, that would be when we can really have that unified customer profile, which is what all customers expect of us today. So it's not an easy task, but thankfully there is definitely ways we can help. The first step to that starts with your data, obviously. So we know that most enterprises work on average with over 1,000 business systems and applications, and these don't communicate. They don't speak the same language. They're not built on the same technology. IT might have a good insight into what the data looks like, but most often business users, sales, marketing, service, they can't access this data. So especially today, we're talking a lot about Agentforce and where we're heading in terms of innovation with AI. When we talk about agents, data becomes critical. Hands up, who here in the room is using ChatGPT or any other AI tool, chatbot? Everyone, right? And I think we all always have a good laugh when the chatbot messes up or it says 1 + 1 = 3. It's quite funny, but when we're talking about enterprise, it's much, much more serious, because these agents and these assistants, you could be relying on them for your next quarter's growth or your sales quota. And it becomes even more critical when these agents become customer facing, because that's when your brand's reputation is on the line. So it better be right and it can't mess up. And to achieve this, your data has to be clean, integrated, trustworthy, and contextual. That's what AI is built on. That's the bloodline and the foundation of good, trusted AI for enterprises. So it all starts with data. The first step is, of course, unifying all your data, bringing all of those applications together that we saw on the last slide. This is where our product, as Sharif mentioned earlier, Data Cloud comes in. So Data Cloud, in its essence, back in the day, started as a CDP, but today it's a business transforming application. We have, just as of today, we have over 200 plus out-of-the-box connectors for all your business applications. The logos behind me are just the big names, but we connect all of your enterprise data. So not just customer-facing data. We're talking about ERP. We connect your data lakes and data warehouses. This is kind of what my colleagues touched on earlier as well. We do this with a technology called Zero Copy Partner Network. We're really proud of this technology because, as we said earlier, we know that in 2025, most people already did the hard work and have their data lake or their data warehouse somewhere. It's a huge investment. It's a lot of time consuming tasks, a really, really big undertaking by IT. So we don't want you to have to duplicate that effort or do it again. We don't want you to have to pool in the same amount of resources and money and do it once more for a product like Data Cloud. So what we do is we actually harness and pull in data from these systems that we're partnering with in a zero copy method. So we don't copy the data, we don't store the data in Data Cloud. And once there's updates or changes made to that data in Data Cloud, we also push it back into your original source. So this is a huge cost-saving benefit for our customers. It's really crucial to them because, again, we don't want to create duplicates and have another platform on top of what you're already using. The whole point of this would be to unify your business systems. So how does it actually work? I've spoken about the connecting part and unifying your data, but what I want to highlight is it's not just structured data. You can see here on the slide, we actually also unify unstructured data. So think about all your messages, PDF documents, images, video, audio file documents. Data Cloud can actually structure and unify these as well in a contextual way. Once that's done, we harmonize these, and I'll show how this works in a later slide. And that's when a governance layer comes in, right? Because we're Salesforce and because we're working with financial service institutions, this governance layer is crucial because we need to enforce policies to make sure that the data we're unifying and harmonizing is compliant in every way possible, right? And then once you're done with this hard part, which with Data Cloud is really not hard at all, it's really real time and a few clicks. But once this is done is when you can start using that data. So you've done all this, but now where most data lakes and data warehouses lack is the actionability. So what comes next? Here you can actually start creating really intelligent, very precise segments and audiences based on real-time information. So really we're talking minutes and seconds. So the latest engagements of your customer, you can segment based on. And once that's done, Data Cloud actually allows you to activate this data on ready channels. We have here, again, so many connectors, so it can really be launched into campaigns. It can be passed over to your sales team, to your CRM, have a fresh lead list for your sales teams every day, or a perfectly constructed marketing campaign for your marketing teams. So that's Data Cloud in a nutshell, and you'll see a bit more of this later. Maybe some common misconceptions to clear up. A lot of people always ask, okay, so is Data Cloud a master data management system? The answer is no. They serve different purposes. So classically, MDMs try to create a one profile, a a master record of your customer. But what this means is there can only be one of everything. So one email address, one phone number. It tries to select the primary one and then filter out all the rest that isn't as important. So a lot of case with MDMs, there's a lot of data loss or overwritten data, which we don't necessarily want, because in 2025, we know that our customers are multi-channel, multiversed. Myself, I have 3 email addresses, I have 2 phone numbers, and they all serve a different purpose, right? On my email address, I expect to be engaged with content that's relevant to my work. On my personal email address, I expect marketing promotions, etc., etc. So that's what Data Cloud does. We don't delete any data, we don't overwrite data, but we create a unified customer profile. So now you have all available data of your customer. Of course, we still know which the primary communication channels are or contact information. But what this allows you to do is now, instead of putting one customer in one segment, you might be able to put them in 3 or 4 segments, because based on the data we have, we know that they could be relevant or applicable for multiple messaging, not just one. I kind of touched on the fact that we started as a CDP. So is Data Cloud a CDP? The short answer is yes and no. In its essence, it can be a CDP. However, again, serving different purposes. Classically, CDPs are serving marketing use cases. Data Cloud is a business-wide application. So the use cases are limitless, really, like across sales, e-commerce, in-branch, sales, merchandising, and of course, marketing. So this is a bit juvenile, but this is how we like to compare. So if you had a marketing automation tool versus a CDP, Data Cloud is that on steroids. It really unlocks everything you can do with your customers and how you can engage with them. So just a sneak peek about that harmonization layer I was talking about, this is what that looks like. So as you can see on the screen, when we bring in all your separate systems, they speak different languages. So they have different object fields, different names. We need to map this all in Data Cloud. And as Jasna said a few times, it's actually fun because I'm not an IT person and I can do this. I can play around with this. So literally you drag and drop, map the fields to match the ones in Data Cloud. And just like that, like magic, really, suddenly you have all of your systems integrated in one place. So what comes after? After that is when you get these beautiful golden records of your customer, which we called unified profiles. So these are just a few examples of what you can use this for, what kind of information. In this example, you can see for this customer, it's important for them to track which channels each customer engages with most. What are the best channels for them for reach? On this, in the middle there, you can also see they're tracking their affinities. So what products, what services are they most keen to engage with you and purchase? And then, of course, there's all the customer activity that you can track in one place across all applications. So it can be an in-branch visit. It can be a phone call with a service rep. It can be all tracked here under one profile. So you can imagine the use cases this unlocks when a customer service rep needs to call up this person, the amount of information they're empowered with. Another example from a bank, actually, for them, it's very important for them to track their customers' goals, financial goals, right? So it might be setting up a bank account and then applying for a mortgage or getting a car loan. For them, they like to track these goals and send out, messaging based on keeping them on track with their goals. So, it could be a simple email saying, hey, 2026 is coming up, time for that car loan that you've been saving up for, and sending relevant content about that. But these are just a few examples. Really, the possibilities are endless. So next, let's talk about a little bit about the real applications. And of course, what every company's goal is revenue generation and bringing in sales. So that all starts with marketing. Marketing, we know, has changed a lot in the last even 5 years. Typically marketing used to be very conversion based. So the main goal was track conversion, show ROI to the business. But today, marketing's goal is building relationships, because in a high competitive world, you can't afford to have customer churn at the rate that some FinServe companies have. The goal is really to have loyal customers who stay with you for eternity and maximize that customer lifetime value. So that's where we come in. We are actually helping our customers with this across every touch point of the customer life cycle. So that starts way before they're even a customer, with awareness and brand awareness. We take them through conversion and becoming a customer, and then nurturing them with their trust in us, that we won't, bombard them with 1,000 push notifications every day, because their data is special and their business to us is special. So we need to be able to work with them and treat that in a certain way. So we take them through all kinds of engagements, and ideally, if you have a loyalty scheme or loyalty program or a referral program, we make sure that they're loyal returning customers. So what this actually looks like, and you saw a lot of this already. So a big part of Marketing Cloud is that journey builder that OTP beautifully showed, and they have way better journeys than I could make, but that's only one part of Marketing Cloud. It really enables you to send the right message to the right person at the right time on the right channel. So we're really talking about multi-channel, omni-channel engagement. And it's all in one place. So your audience segmentation, creating your content with the help of AI, of course. It's really magic what these AI content generators can do for our marketers these days. And then activated across any channel you want. So email, push notification, WhatsApp, SMS, you name it, social. It makes sure that all of this is contained in one place, so you have the full picture of your customer. And then on top of that, of course, we have really powerful an analytics layer, because in marketing and in business, we have to be able to track everything we do and show business the value. And then we also have an amazing loyalty program that comes on top of this. So I won't show you this because OTP already did an amazing job at it, but the only thing I'll highlight maybe that you didn't see is that these are really drag and drop little building blocks. So on the side here on the left, you can see different data entry sources. So literally click and drop, you select where a journey should start from. So it could be maybe filling out a form on a website. Maybe it could be a trigger from the CRM from a sales rep. And once they're in there, you select all the different engagements that you would like to put in. And again, I've done this as a salesperson. I don't have any experience with tools like this, but it's really user-friendly, and our customers find a lot of success in adoption with Marketing Cloud because of how easy it is. Some metrics, I won't go through them all, but I highlighted one in particular. This is the most interesting, I believe, is what we've been talking about, that customer lifetime value. On average, Marketing Cloud customers see a 31% increase in this. And this is a like conservative average, I would say. So we even see more than this, which we're really proud of. Okay, so I've spoken about Data Cloud a little bit. I've spoken about marketing. I want to show you how we can put this all together in a real application, or how this could work. What could be one use case that may work for you? So one very, very cool use case we have is calculated affinity scores. So the way this works is your customers have their preferences. They have their favorite channels that they communicate on. I shop on TikTok. I don't really like to go in store and physical branches. So you can collect all this information of your customers and make sure you know what their preferences are. Of course, they also have engagement interests and the frequency that you communicate with them in. So different service interests, it could be a credit card, a home loan, pension fund, you name it. We can also gather this with Data Cloud and rank actually which preference is most relevant to each customer. So in this case, maybe I'm young, I can say, so maybe pension fund is not too relevant for me right now, maybe in the long term, but investing and a car loan could be very personalized to me. So once we have this, we can get into more the Marketing Cloud side. So you have your ranked affinities, but you run different promotions at different times. So we might not always have content available or something going on for each of these affinities. So what Data Cloud does is it reorders the ranking of this customer based on what's available currently. So maybe you're running a promotion on car loans or pensions. So it's going to make that their number 1, 2, 3. And once that's done, you can launch all that messaging on the channels that they prefer the most. So for me, it's my mobile app, my WhatsApp, my email. So that's one, real application of this. OTP is really the best example of what you've seen today, but we do have a lot of other customers, Mascoma Bank being one, and they've really streamlined all of their client journeys with the help of Marketing Cloud and Data Cloud, and their customer experience has really increased. A different one also being Esquire Bank. What I love about their story is they were only a referral business, so really relied on word of mouth. But since using Marketing Cloud, they're seeing almost a 3 times of the industry standard of thanks to their hyper-targeted communications. So their click-through rates, which OTP is also seeing, and their open rates are through the roof. So really, we couldn't be more proud of our customers' success and what they've been achieving. And here's to more, hoping for more. We want more stories and more successful implementations of these tools because they're really powerful. If you'd like to keep learning more, or if this interests you, we have some webinars available that you can scan with a QR code. Also, please come chat to us. We're happy to tell you more about how this works, show it to you. Let's also connect on LinkedIn. We're happy to show you a live demo. We can really tailor what you've seen here, like the journeys and Data Cloud, to your specific use case, because we also understand that every enterprise is different. So what you saw here today may not resonate with you, but I promise we can tailor it to you. So feel free to get in touch. And I hope that was useful. We're going to move on to some more technical sneak peek into the platform itself. So with that, I'll give it back to our MC, and thank you for your attention.